Feel free to introduce yourself. Plug yourself. What's going on, man?
Oh, yo, what's up? My name is Taco Brown, person that watches One Piece. Please send help. And I know
these are big facts.
please send help. I watched. I'm just a streamer, podcast co-host on Meanwhile Back on the Podcast, and we just do like fan culture. So mostly stuff about like superhero and like all this pop culture goodness, and we really get into like the neat and gritty. So I'm a nerd. Like I think that's the best way to put it. Like I'm a hardcore nerd. I love stories. I love all kinds of medium, right? Like I'll watch a dance recital, like or interpreted dance, and be into it if it's good, if it's done well, right?
I feel that, man.
I don't normally talk about anime.
What's your podcast name?
Meanwhile, Back on the Podcast.
Meanwhile, Back on the Podcast.
Yes.
You heard it here first, folks.
I will point it out. I know I've mentioned it before. Insert one of our podcast apps here, but the Instagram page is like the prettiest thing ever. I wish I was that like skilled at like just like there are a certain group of people who just get social media and know how to do it so well. I'm not one of those people.
No,
like
for sure.
I wish I could curate the streamline of like Instagram photos like
And
the
I
way
wish
they do.
I could take all the credit for it, but it's not me. It's actually Frank, who's he's kind of like the chair of the whole of the podcast, and I just want to give the credit. He does work his ass off for the podcast, and you know it's I joined in a year late, or I got joined in like a year in about that time. So and I've been in there for a year. It's been a fun time since. So we don't normally talk about anime though. So when I had this like One Piece itch at work, I'm like, how can I watch One Piece without watching One Piece? Because I need to work, right? And then I found your guys' podcast, and you guys do an awesome job too. Like I'm like I think you guys. I just want to give you guys some like a shout out. I'm sure I can speak for most of the fans here. You guys do an awesome job, and I want to say even like your sound bits, like it does. Like I remember you guys did like a summary one time. I think it was the Andy's lobby, like on the Robin flashback. And you guys gave me chills like at work because you guys had like the music in the background and like all these like sound effects. And I'm like, oh my God, bro, I'm like so immersed in this summary. And yeah,
oh my God, am I in Ohata right now?
Yeah, right? Like, am I about to get blown up? Like, she.
Doug, that's why I love our summaries once in a while. Every so often we get those, but then, you know, there's always the inevitable, like, one-line fuck-up. I remember my favorite one that I did was back in Alabasta, and it was, like, right when Crocodile, like, threw Vivi off the cliff of, like, the plateau or whatever. And I remember it was, like, Luffy coming in for the first time since he got defeated. It's like, from the skies, from the air, comes in Luffy, and then like there's a record scratch and everything. Oh man, that was one of the best bits though. I got so far, I got like 2/3 of the way through with no issues until that one fucking line.
I was just curious to know why your mind went to Nami.
I don't remember what was going. Honestly, it might have been Vivi. It was something that wasn't Luffy. I remember that. It was like I said somebody's name. I don't remember what the fuck it was. What the summary called for somebody's name, and I fucked it up.
Yeah, the key note for this is you fucked it up. That's it. That's all we need to know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like that's my role in this entire cast. Honestly, is to just.
I don't know about that one, Chief. I feel like, granted, maybe you have more fuck ups because you just read more often. But I definitely have a pretty low success rate for reading summaries, even when I write them myself. I'd be like,
this man literally, he comes in with like his own written summary and goes like, oh, wait a minute. What did I just write? Fuck.
Literally. Why did I write that? That's garbage.
Yeah, no, I remember one time I was at work and I was listening to one of your episodes. I can't remember which episode it was, but it literally just started off with Justin doing like this girl voice. He said like one word and then like everyone just started dying of laughter. And I had no idea what he was trying to attempt to do because he never tried to attempt it again. But it was just hilarious. I was like,
okay, it wasn't the ooh app. It was, I don't know what our bit was because I don't remember. But I just remember it was me and maybe Christian just like role playing as Barbie and Ken. And I don't know why. I don't know what relevance that has to One Piece. But I remember that being like our mental scene.
I do remember that vaguely. Yeah.
I need to find that up and cry again.
Hilarious.
Dude, that's actually one of the best parts about doing this for as long as we have. We're like 2 years in now. Sometimes I will just like go back and cherry pick a random episode for no reason and start listening to it, and then I'll remind myself of some of our dumb bits. I reminded myself recently of our carne asada, whatever the fuck that stupid episode was.
God, I miss the David Beck games.
So fucking good. I loved every bit of it.
Well, I was gonna say, you know what? I have an idea for one of your other bits, what's it called? So I was watching Marine Ford.
Yo, man, hey, what are you doing? Get out of here! We don't want this on the cast. Come on, this is for us.
Sorry.
We can't be letting them know how the sausage gets made. All right, this is live. Like, what do you?
All right, for sure. My bad. This never happened.
Yeah, next thing we're gonna.
Man, you got some insight for us. Like, we're all ears, but man, we gotta package that. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
Yeah, man. What if we accidentally told the viewers that?
Don't pay any attention to the Justin behind the curtain, folks. He has no idea with which he speaks.
That's all bleep. That's all redacted.
That's also another one of our ongoing gags. Sometimes we'll just be like, "That's getting cut for sure," but then sometimes it doesn't, and then we're just like, "Well, this is awkward."
Me on latest episode where I said I made like a sound with my mouth as like a rewind function. I was like, "Yo, Dylan, throw in the rewind sound," and even Jordy's like, "Dylan ain't doing shit."
I heard that this morning, actually. That was actually hilarious. By the way, when you guys asked me to guest on this cast, I was like pretty excited. And then I heard the Sanji cast, and then I started immediately panicking because like, how am I supposed to follow up with this? But then you guys dropped the Q&A episode, and I was like, oh, okay, I don't have to follow up with this.
That's fair. Matilda, great co-host, great individual. That's a fair, concern to have about your performance. She's like, how do I follow this up?
Yeah, it's like trying to follow up after Kevin Hart killed it.
Okay, listen, dog. Like we're a very low key cast. Like we have a small but powerful fan base. We love you listeners out there. But I mean, there's no following up. Don't worry about it, man. Like we're just happy to invite people on that are fun to talk to.
She's major leagues. You're minor leagues. It's okay.
No, that's not a thing either. Just stop. That's not a thing.
No, for sure. Though I was just saying that episode was hilarious. Even if she's hearing this too, like shout out. You did an awesome job.
Yeah, no, this is actually a spoiler cast, so we might as well get that out there. Anyway,
even though we haven't talked about One Piece at all, we just been talking about your podcast.
Yeah, we've just been talking in general. Hey, I'm super not prepared. Where can somebody
got you.
Give me the thing? You know what I'm saying? you know,
it ain't much.
It ain't much, but
just a little quote unquote script for ourselves, just to keep us on track, which isn't much. It's like 5 bullets. It's mostly just about you.
Oh my god!
It's mostly the taco ep. Congratulations, we brought you on to have an exclusive episode just for you, my man.
Oh my god! No, now I'm panicking again. The stress, the pressure. I'm just leaving, guys. I'm sorry, I can't do this anymore.
I was actually getting really concerned because at first I was like, okay, Jordy's not coming because he's busy doing whatever. And then I was like, all right, we're early. But I was like, Brendan's also usually kind of early. So like him being like exactly on time was like concerning. So I was talking to Juan before everyone showed up. I was saying like, oh, don't mind me. I'm just saying hello. But, I'm going to do a podcast in a couple minutes. And I was like, oh, this and that. This is what's happening. He's like, if he doesn't show up, this sounds like a blind date. And I'm like, you're making too much sense and I don't like this.
Yeah, this is actually just a big long con setup. We just wanted to hook you up with Taco the whole time.
Get us to finally meet. Next thing you know, it's like 2 people walk in, only 1 person left. No, I'm joking.
Wait, what? Oh no! Well, you can take Justin though. He's probably the most dispensable. I'm just kidding.
Jeez, just like that.
My heart, it hurts.
Mi kokoro.
But no, we wanted to invite you on, man, just because I know you and Justin and Jordy had a couple of cool conversations. We talked about you in the cast a couple of times.
I've heard
they're eating up the idea that we're gonna make our own Jolly Roger someday, which I'm all for too. I just I don't put in that kind of effort.
For sure.
So,
Did Justin tell you my latest idea?
I probably forgot. I feel like I suddenly now remember and I don't remember.
A hamster on a wheel that looks like it's running. Of course, it's not in motion, right? But it looks like it's running. And then on top of the wheel is a string. And on that string, that's like, baiting the hamster to run. Redfoot Zeph pickled leg.
Oh no.
Just hanging off a string while he chases it.
Dude, the Redfoot Zeph's pickled leg. You know, the best part about that was that we added that to our stupid list of One Pieces long after Redfoot Zeph was a relevant character. I just can't believe we double backed to that just so that we could throw that pickled ass leg on the pile.
Justice needed to be served, clearly.
Justice did indeed need to be served.
That was probably my favorite One Piece, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I also I'm partial to the Boomerang since we gave it to the Boomerang and also the Golden Ham that one episode for the movie. That was just too good. I had too much of a fun time with that.
Seeing that we haven't talked about One Piece yet, this is my confession. I have not watched the movies.
Wow,
You know what? That's fair because like kind of neither have I.
Have you listened to any of the episodes we made over the movies or not?
Not really, mostly because I like listening to your episode and visualizing what you guys are talking about in my head, right? It's like basically me watching One Piece without watching One Piece, right? So I can't watch the movies and know what you guys are talking about, right?
For sure. I feel that.
I watched some of the specials, like another backstory. Like maybe I should probably like tell you guys my history about with One Piece.
Yes, that's exactly a bullet point on here. Please do that.
So of course, like everyone else, it was the 4Kids dub and Saturday morning cartoons. It was, ritual Saturday morning, wake up at 8:00, you start watching some Ninja Turtles, some Heavy Muscle, and then One Piece came on, and I'm like,
oh, dude, the flashbacks. Oh, God, the flashbacks are coming in hard. I love it. Nostalgia.
yeah, no, for sure. And it ruined, the 4Kids ruined One Piece for me because like after years, people were telling me how awesome it is, and I'm like, I can't. They told me how awesome it is, but the one I'm picturing is the 4Kids because I never went back.
Oh, no.
I saw this and I'm like, I'm not going back on this like ever. Right?
They forgot the caveats, like not 4Kids dub.
Then eventually, I think around 2017, like a very close friend of mine was telling me about, I think the Katakuri fight like just ended or something like that. Like it was something to do with like Big Mom, and I was like, One Piece is still going on. Like this is like after like 10 years or like 20 years of me watching up 4Kids, right? And like I totally like didn't realize it because like I'm into anime, but I'm not like super into anime. Like I fuck with Bleach, Death Note, One Piece and stuff like that, right? But I'm not like super into it. Like I want to get more into it, but I'm right now watching One Piece.
It's a vast ocean of content out there.
I've got a friend of mine that is really good at making anime lists. If you ever do want to fuck in a little bit deeper,
well, maybe I think I'm gonna try to tackle Attack on Titan. I've been thinking about Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
All right, yeah,
because I watched Full Metal Alchemist on TV. Right, so there was Saturday morning cartoons, and then there was Friday night anime. Right, so,
Friday night anime nights. That was my jam back in the day, dude. When I was a kid, I would be up all night watching Inuyasha.
Oh my god, Inuyasha!
Oh my god, dude, those were the days.
I was like
I'd
6
sit
years
there
old,
and like my parents would like periodically peer open to the door and go like, "What the hell are you doing? It's like 2:00 in the morning," and I'm like, "But it's a double new episode of Inuyasha, man."
Yeah,
go to sleep.
For me, it was Dragon Ball Z, Bleach, Death Note will come on because I'm from Canada. Justin has said on air already, so I don't mind sharing it again. But so our schedule, like the I guess the programming will probably be a little bit different here, right? But
yo, dude, go Canucks, my man.
Yeah, go Canucks. I'm not even a hockey fan.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
All right, Dylan, cut that. We're gonna put his life in danger with that.
Go Ducks! Quack, quack, quack,
quack, quack, quack. Mighty Ducks.
Yeah. So after this was in 2017, so I still didn't get into it. But like now I'm intrigued. I'm like, why is this show taking so long? I even like asking my buddy, I'm like, is he like the king of the pirates yet? And he said no. And I'm like, what the fuck's going like what's going on with this show? And then around 2020, I started working at a scrapyard, and then I was in the middle of a Bleach rewatch, and I was talking to a friend I made at the scrapyard I started working at, and he was saying he was starting a One Piece rewatch, and he was hyping up One Piece, and this is like the last time. I'm like, you know what? I should just check it out, see what's on Netflix. And if you know what's on Netflix, at least for me in Canada, it's the East Blue Saga and the Alabasta Saga. And I watched that.
That's here.
Was happy with it. I never really looked into it anymore because I knew it was like this is a lot. But I watched after I watched the Alabasta Saga, I never touched on it again. I started watching like timeline videos because I'm like, if I'm gonna be able to watch the rest of One Piece, I might as well at least get the short summary of it. And then when I watched the timeline video, I was like, bro. Like, when I first started watching One Piece, it also, like, at least once it got to Reverse Mountain, it kind of made sense why the show was taking 30 years. So then when I watched the timeline and saw what they did in those 30 years, I was like, wow, this is a story. And then my friend gave me his Funimation account, like a couple months ago, like in September last year. So like I went like a whole year without touching One Piece again, right after the Alabasta saga. And then he gave me his Funimation account, and I had some mushrooms, and I took the mushrooms, and I watched One Piece on mushrooms, and I didn't realize that this was the combination I needed in my life.
Oh my God.
It's a magical experience.
It's a magical fucking journey.
You remind me of our friend Juan.
Dude.
You sound a lot like somebody we know.
I just have to say, like, mostly because of that trip, it was all I didn't know I was watching filler. So it was even trippier because it was the Rainbow Mist filler episodes.
Oh boy, the Rainbow Mist stuff.
Fucked my brain up. I was like, what the hell am I watching right now? Why am I...
Yeah, but like, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, it was all cool visuals. Like, it's very cool when you're... Especially the water, too. Like, the old school, like, early 2000 water in One Piece is... Like, you don't even need to be on mushrooms for it to trip you out. That shit doesn't make sense.
Dude, I've been saying this for years, that there is a lot of, there's a lot of good things in the newer animation post, like, 2017, 2000, or 2020, whatever. But honestly, there's been a lot of love lost on the original, like, I guess just like art for One Piece as a whole. That's what I kind of love. I really like when I go back to the beginning of One Piece, and I don't necessarily rewatch like the entire East Blue in a single sitting or anything like that, but sometimes I will go back and I'll rewatch a couple of my favorite episodes, and I'm like, man, dude, I kind of wish that One Piece even still looked like this sometimes.
Well, it wasn't until after I was rewatching Sabayoli. I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck was going on here, right? Like,
yeah.
Like the scene where I just saw like Kuma like making everyone disappear, and like, or like at least the episode before that. That episode was animated okay for the Sabayoli standards, but the episode before that, it was just so bad. Like it ruined like the whole moment of like of feeling the threat of Kuma because you're watching it like poorly drawn out.
I don't know what I mean. I guess like they wanted to like start cutting some corners and saving some money, but I've been saying this for years. I think Golden Age One Piece, because I still feel like they really did figure out the perfect balance during like Water 7 and Thriller Bark era. But after they got past that, when they hit Sabaody, it just started going down from there.
Marineford wasn't too bad. I think they kind of like fixed it up there, but like Impel Down wasn't that good either. But I also want to give a shout out to Sabaody arc because that has my favorite Luffy costume. The blue shirt and the armband. Love that one.
Dude, I feel that.
Yeah, I love that one.
I'm partial to probably in terms of Luffy outfits. I'm either partial to Whole Cake, where he's got that nice white, like ruffled shirt or whatever, or maybe the cape in Wano. I do like me some cape.
I do like the cape, which also like what I wanted to ask you guys about your new opener. But before I touch on that, the 1000 opener of the We Are. I love that they made it so that Luffy was spinning the hat, wearing the cloak, as opposed to Shanks spinning the hat. I was like, that little detail, I fucking loved it. I was like, oh, I didn't even notice it the first time I watched it, right? Like, I watched like the episode 1000 like a third time, and I was like, oh, now I know it. I'm like, that's not Shanks spinning the hat, that's Luffy. That's sick.
Oh, wait. Are you talking about the very beginning where he spins it on his finger?
Yes, in the with the part where it says, if you want to be my friend.
Well, I think he always spins. I think Luffy was always the one spinning it on his finger, but then it like cuts out to Shanks being like it was like Shanks and like his three goons and like a weird like fade away shot. I could have it was
Shanks like at the beginning of the first opening of We Are. I think it's Shanks spinning the hat. I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
I would rewatch it, my dude.
You definitely have your One Piece experience. So like, I'm not trying to like, we got the both of the cast experts here. I'm not trying to argue with you guys.
I don't know about. I wouldn't call me an expert.
Listen, I ain't an expert, but I do have the luxury of volume. I have seen this series front to back a couple of times.
Yeah, for sure.
Just a couple.
But going back, what do you guys think about the new opening?
Dude, I love the new We Are opening, honestly. I mean, did they do it for more than just
the one for Wano right now?
All right, so this is where I'm at. So this is more of a Justin question. I tend to not watch the anime. I haven't seen the anime past like part of Whole Cake. I'm not current past a certain part of Whole Cake. I'm basically an exclusive manga reader from then on, mainly because I am actually trying to hope and wait that the dub will eventually catch up to where I'm at, and they're finally hitting Whole Cake soon, which I'm super pumped about.
They're like 12 episodes away. I think
I think they're gonna do, if they haven't already, I think they've met Sanji's siblings. Or they're going to in the next set of release. Yeah.
Last time I checked it up, they were still in Zou, and they were just gonna start the Samurai Mink Pirate Alliance, the Ninja Samurai Pirate Mink Alliance.
Yeah, so like when I saw the same thing, but then apparently new episodes dropped, I think like the first week of March that I haven't checked out yet. So normally they drop in 12 episode increments. So I don't know, maybe those 12 episodes are literally just them dicking around in Zou, and then like the last episode is Luffy jumping off the edge. But I assume that they have a couple episodes of like the start of Wano, but maybe not. Maybe I'm over exaggerating the timeline there or whatever.
Maybe no, because I do know there's the episode where he meets the sister and she sucks the venom out of Luffy, which is like, damn.
Yeah.
Geez. I feel that maybe that, I think that's like before Whole Cake, like the Whole Cake starts, so maybe that could be it.
Unless have the episodes that we've gotten so far, they've showed Sanji saying that he'll go to Whole Cake or whatever or what, like they've already
the
gone
ones
over
from
that
last scene, yes. And they just found the red poneglyph and stuff like that. That's where I last saw.
I watched those particular episodes, but now I'm actually watching through Dressrosa because I dropped it for a little while to let them finish Dressrosa. Then, like, much to my surprise, I literally come back to Funimation. It feels like a fever dream, and I'm like, wait a minute. Holy shit, they did all of Dressrosa. I blinked. What happened?
Yeah, no.
I was like, hell yeah, let's do it, man. Like, I like dropped it for, I guess, the better part of a year, 6 months or something, and they got all the way through Dressrosa, which I'm pumped about because I was not really looking forward to being super weekly on Dressrosa, but I'm gonna sit through every single episode on Dressrosa at least once, and then when we get to it in the cast, I'll probably skip to like the edited down version so that we can move it along a little bit or something like that.
Yeah, for sure. What's it called? For me, I got lucky because when I caught up, it was like when I caught up. By the way, I'm gonna say I'm with you, Brandon. I love the dub of One Piece. Like, I'm not saying it's the best dub ever, but I'm just saying like I can appreciate what they do, and I think they like it. Sometimes it does, like, especially after starting watching the sub, it kind of like when you go back to the dub, it does sound a little off. But the dub's so funny, man. The dub is so funny.
I just can't let go of like half of the characterizations on the bits, and like, okay, fine, maybe once in a while I have a miss, like when I didn't love the direction for Clink and Beard for Luffy's Gear 4 in Dressrosa, which is weird because I remember seeing it in gold and thought it was fine. I think they did something a little different. They told her to do something a little different that I wasn't super vibed with, but I sacrificed those small little like issues with. Overall, the entire thing is a great experience. I love the guy who plays Law, the guy who played Admiral Fujitora. Fan-fucking-tastic.
It was good.
Big fans of both of those guys.
Yeah, and I know. I think even too, like Luffy too. Like the dub does a good
I think
job.
Kali does a great job with Luffy. I have no problems with Luffy 99.9% of the time. I feel like everyone just gets upset because it's not as good as the Japanese one. Which, okay, I can maybe agree that to an extent. I do think that in a lot of ways the Japanese one is probably better 9 times out of 10. But we're comparing a 9 out of 10 to like an 8 out of 10, 7.5 at worst. Like, come on, man, you're killing me here.
The dub's awesome. The dub, I agree with you there, and especially. Like, I tried watching One Piece, the sub, on shrooms, and I just couldn't do it. It was too hard to read and pay attention to. Like,
you got to read while being high. Like, that's never gonna work.
But on the on the dub though, it's awesome. Like, it's awesome, especially like the last time I watched One Piece on shrooms, I rewatched the conclusion to the Alabasta arc, which, my God, the fight scenes were so awesome on true, especially how like it closed and like, or when it ended, it did like the color sheet and then like the text, the typewriter text. I loved it. It was so cool. And Zoro's fight, Zoro on mushrooms is like is my guru. Like I'll go on any journey he takes me on.
Oh God,
because the whole thing when he was fighting Das Bones. And he was like learning how to like the breath of like the thing, right? That quote too was so trippy. A swordsman who can cut nothing can cut everything.
I hear it. is steel. It has a rhythm, just like everything else around me. Do I really have the ability to cut steel? Well, there's only one way to find out.
You failed with 3 swords.
And then he like does like a swing at the trees, and it doesn't cut it. And then he swings at a rock and he cuts it clean. And I'm like, oh my god, dude, this is my spirit animal. Yeah,
I respect it, my guy.
I know. Justin's a big Zoro fanboy.
Yeah. Love me some Zoro.
All he does is fanboy over Zoro 9 times out of 10.
I do.
To
as
answer your
well.
question, you're asking about the One Piece openings, like the recent ones for like the anime where we currently are.
Yeah. Oh my god, that was like 10 minutes ago when I asked that. Yeah, I totally forgot I asked that.
So the brand new one that came out like a couple of weeks ago, you know, visually I like it because it has like, you know, this was a lot less spoilery, I think. Maybe I'm lying there, but it has like the action sequences kind of like foreshadowing what's going to happen in the series. But they do what I really like is when they kind of like do this sequence where they show off each crew member, and it's just kind of like in its own little bubble. It's like it kind of reminds me of like American sitcoms where it's like, oh, you know, we're just dancing, we're vibing. Like Nami and Robin like show up in one panel and they're just kind of like, you know, having a good time.
Doubles.
Yeah, and then Zanji shows up on screen and Zoro and him are bickering. I like that sequence, but I really like the one before it because the song is amazing. I can't remember it off the top of my head for some reason. Like the name.
I think it's Hard Knock Days.
Oh my god, what is it called?
I think it's Hard Knock Days.
What are you trying to describe, Justin? Describe it again to me.
It's the One Piece opening for like the large majority of Wano.
For
you
the
mean
large
Dreaming?
majority of Wano. Oh, I think
Yes,
it's the
Dreaming
very
On.
first
Dreaming
one.
On by
Yeah,
I forgot
yeah,
the
yeah.
One
boy band.
Dream. Where's some of that, right? One wish. That one?
No, not that one. It's the one
That was
after
like the
that.
first
It's
one. Oh, the second one. Yeah, I like the second one too.
Dreaming
I
on da 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 da.
Yeah, I like the song too.
The rhythm of that.
song, and then the I love the scene where Sanji and Zoro are like doing that slow mo, like or where they're all fighting Kaido's enemies. Yeah, it's a good opening too. Wano has some good openings.
I so far, not that I've seen anything in Wano just yet. To be perfectly, I did see the most recent OP once. Just through the subreddit because they were like, "Hey, look, it's the new OP," and I was like, "Oh, hey, look, OP. I like OPs."
I like OPs
and I
as
checked
well.
it out. I remember seeing, I saw the Onigashima like skull looking real, and then everyone was like, "Dude, is it gonna come back to life?" And then I'm like, "I don't know, dog. It looked cool." Either way, I was like, I think the only one that I know I liked was probably Hope. I was telling about this during our Sanji
I love
cast.
Hope.
There's something about Hope slaps, dude. Like that
The song's
shit just
awesome.
slaps.
I have it on my playlist. Like I play it at work, like on speaker. I don't give a shit. Like I just pump
Yeah,
that
no,
stuff.
I don't care at all.
That's a banger. And the opening, like the visuals for that song, like it works, man. Like I honestly, Hope is I think my favorite OP. But I also have a thing for the Skypea ones, the like Bon Voyage and the one before it.
Bon Voyage grew on me on the second run.
Honestly, all of the OPs slap for me, especially the ones that are still in dub, because I miss those days. All the OPs in the first part of One Piece, the Paradise part of One Piece, are honestly fine to me. Like I like pretty much all of them, except for like one of them that's in like the war arc. I know we go through like 2 or 3 OPs in very quick succession in the next like 100 episodes. And I remember there was one in there that I didn't like, but for the most part, all of them I enjoyed. But of the time skip stuff, honestly, Hope is like the only one that comes off as like, that's a banger. Maybe also We Go, but I think because it just stayed on for like over 100 episodes, I just kind of got a little numb to it. I'm like, all right, can we like move on from We Go? Can we get something else? Like,
The one I hated the most was the did you watch the one after Hope? The one the superpower one? I'm guessing
I didn't like
it's not the-
superpowers. I heard
Not
that
a fan
one
of that
once.
one either.
I do not like that one.
I wish Hope stayed in Whole Cake longer than Superpowers came in. I thought Superpowers was like a super miss because I heard it once and I'm like super power. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
I was like, oh,
am I listening to Gurren Lagann right now? Like, what's happening? or like discounted to Gurren Lagann because it doesn't even sound that good, to be honest with you.
yeah, for sure. No, I when I first heard it too, I'm like, what the? And then they all had like this Power Ranger theme. And the worst part, it's on the back end of Whole Cake Island. So like Germa is not even like involved in the story in that part. So like, why are you gonna have this like Power Ranger? Like, you guys just missed it. Like, you shot for a 3 and you missed. Like, I don't know.
We all can't be Steph Curry out here, man. The one basketball player I know these days. But while we're here, I guess it's a good time to ask you, do you have like any like super favorite or like highlight moments across your One Piece journey so far?
Oh, I mean, aside from the parts that I watched on Mushrooms, like Andy's lobby was awesome. Like when I saw the timeline, I was like basically waiting for things to happen at that point. So a little like backstory for me, I don't really mind spoilers. I'm one of those guys that you could tell me what the story is, but you're not the one telling me the story. Like, it's up to the person telling me the story for me to say if I like what they did or not. Like, you could tell me like Robin dies, and I'll be upset hearing it, but like unless I hear the story play out and like it makes me understand it, then like I'll be like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Man
like,
of culture, ain't afraid of no weenie spoilers out here.
All right. Well, okay. Hold on though. There's a gray area there. If you're somebody who like completely disrespects somebody's wishes on whether or not they want to know main story beats, I would agree.
Oh, for sure.
You know, unfortunately, Justin, Christian already knows that Ace is going to die due to Justin because he's a shithead.
That was an accident, right? I didn't know I'd be doing a One Piece podcast with him like 5 years later.
I would argue it wasn't even 5 years. We literally had just started the cast, and you were like, "Yo, Ace dies." Like you're an animal. Anyway, actually, he had just met Ace. In fact, or like in the cast when we were recording it. You're an animal. This is like literally a year and a half ago. Anyway,
I think I remember that too, and I didn't find out after. Like I remember hearing like he was like, "You spoiled something." That you guys didn't say what he spelled, but when I found out it was the Ace's death, I was like, "Oh, dick move, Justin." Like, oh my god, yeah, I don't like spoilers, but I think I would have maybe enjoyed.
Wait, I did it on cast?
No, you didn't do it on cast. But we talked about the fact that you spoiled something significant on cast. Yeah, we talked that. We made it vague so the audience can be like, "Ooh, I wonder what Justin spoiled." Justin.
Yeah, because you weren't on that episode either. Too. It was like you got shunned.
I was thinking of like the actual moment I spoiled that for Christian. I know what I did. I know the scenery, but I just remember like my mental.
No, you were talking to Juan,
yes.
And then after you mentioned it, then Christian was like, "Wait, what?" And then we were all like, "Justin, what the hell? Like, shut up!" And then you were like, doubled down, and you were like, "What the fuck does it matter? He already knows now, so Ace dies." And then I'm like, "All right, well."
My brain was like, "Man, he's on the internet. There's no way he doesn't know that Ace dies. Like everyone on the internet knows this."
There it is. See, and that is where you are wrong, because unless you are looking up One Piece things, you wouldn't know that, my man.
Unless you're Devin and you're just, casually scrolling through anything at any point ever.
I mean, if anything you're gonna see by accident, it's probably Gear 4. Like,
all right, listen. Okay, so I think it's totally understandable if you happen to be in the presence of a spoiler. I'm never gonna flip a shit over spoilers, kind of like Devin does once in a while. But if you're the kind of person who goes out of your way and has zero zero remorse for whether or not you're going to be spoiling other people that may want to experience it for the first time themselves, I would say you're kind of a dickhead personally. Now, that being said, even though Christian knows that Ace dies, I would still argue that in a lot of ways, the journey to seeing his inevitable demise is really where most of the fun is at. I mean, because we're going to be following him around for 200 episodes upcoming, right? And even though, Christian might know what happens at the end, he doesn't know when. He doesn't know under the circumstances. He doesn't know how is it going to affect, Luffy.
He does
and
not
Co.
know a goddamn thing. I'll tell you that what.
There's a psych out too where Luffy actually does save Ace, right? Which I'm going to say right now. I'm calling it right now. I don't think your Devin and Christian are going to enjoy Ace's death because it's aggravating. It aggravates me all this time. It's like, dude, don't you fucking throw your life away after all these guys just came in here trying to save you, and you just like, oh, don't you talk shit about my dad,
dude. It's a message for.
I mean, I can understand the frustration of we spent 300 episodes trying to save your bitch ass, and you go and just kill yourself like this? I don't have that reaction, but I understand how one would come to that, you know.
Especially when it's such an easy, it's such a, like, so obvious that he's trying to, like, psych you into staying. Like, how are you gonna fall for that? Like, come on, Ace, I guess he's that stupid. Yeah, like, he fell for it. I don't know.
Dude, I would say this is still and always will be Luffy's story, and I'm always going to support a writer's attempts at justifying character growth in your main character through the demise of his brother or whatever. Now, I will say, in that same vein, Sabo having amnesia for however fucking long he had amnesia for was fucking bullshit. Anyway.
That was bullshit as well. It was
Thank you for joining me for my TED Talk. I am done. That is probably my only thing out of all of the writing that Oda does. Anytime he includes amnesia for no fucking reason, I'm just like, bro, why? Can you just not?
So, tell me how you feel about Big Mom's amnesia streak.
Don't even get me started. Is it funny? Yes. Do I like the fact that she and Queen duked it out and that she was on, the ally side for a hot second? Okay, fine. Yeah. As a gag, I think that's funny. Am I even gladder that they turn that shit off as soon, like immediately? Yes, I am. If she would have stayed in that amnesiac state for the entirety of Wano, I would have genuinely been upset, probably.
It brings me back to, so you were late to our Q&A session, and the question you missed was, what was it? I think it was pick a character you dislike, and if you could rewrite them to, be ideal or good in your eyes, what would you do? And in my head, when I read that question and put it on the sheet, I was like, man, he probably wouldn't say this if he makes it to the cast, but I think he would say Sabo if, all cards are on the table. So I'm curious now, would it be Sabo? Would that be the character you rewrite from One Piece?
Me personally?
Yes,
I would. I wouldn't even rewrite the character. I think the fact that Luffy had another brother and that he's going to basically be the new Ace service, I don't think that is that shoehorn. I understand other people's frustration with even including it, because in a lot of ways he is an Ace replacement. The only thing I hate is this whole amnesia subplot. I think that Oda should have just gone doubled down and been like, all right, well, I'm going to join the Revolutionary Army. I'm doing my own thing. Because when he went out to sea, of his own accord without telling anybody. He was like, I'm just going to leave. So he could have doubled down on that as his character, because that is what he chose in his backstory, was to just go out, do his thing, not tell anybody. He'll always have a bond with Luffy and Ace, whatever. So he could have just been, vibing on the ocean in the Revolutionary Army for however long until he got the news of Ace and then realized, man, I took way too much of a backseat. If I could have done something about this. You know what I mean? There was an opportunity that Oda had to just be like, all right, I need to grow as a character and not just completely disconnect myself from my former brothers or whatever. Because now that I've lost one of them. I think that was fine. That could have stayed. Everything after that, totally fine. Just the fact that he gave him amnesia to justify the fact that he didn't seek out Ace or Luffy really bothers me.
Come on, Oda, you cutting corners on this shit?
I just God damn it, dude. Just, I don't know. I could sit here all day and tell you how much I hate that stupid subplot. But yes, I would say out of all the characters I could potentially rewrite, that would probably be the only detail out of one major character that I would ever see fit to rewrite. But I'm not the author, so I will reserve my judgment.
When you first told me this, I was like, all right, your opinion is valid, but I'm not feeling it. And then the recent Reverie update we got, either right before or somewhere around Wano in the beginning, where they disband the Shishibukai system. They imply that Sabo's been captured. I'm just sitting here, I'm like, I swear to God, if you just make Ace Part 2, I'm actually going to be upset.
Choto mate.
Yeah, literally. I was like, listen, I'm okay with Sabo being, Ace 2.0, spiritually, but if you literally copy pasta Marineford, I'm going to be upset.
I honestly think that they will go that route to an extent. I don't think they're going to redo Marineford, at least not completely. I do think that if it does go down, Luffy's going to bring the crew this time, and they will inevitably save him then, because it'll be his second chance, right?
Mm-hmm.
I do think that that'll probably happen.
I think so. The story kind of is calling for it too, and I think it would be so awesome just to see Like, you know, when we saw Whitebeard's pirate show up with his crew and like Shanks show up with his crew, but then when we see Luffy show up with his crew and it's like you know, we just saw this whole journey of like, I'm really looking forward to that moment if that's the case.
I think it begs the question, right? Because, you know, sometimes you give a lot of praise to authors for creating parallels inside of its own storytelling, but you can also give it critiques for rehashing the same subplots. So it depends on how Oda writes it, right? I am not saying that I am against Sabo being captured and being on the chopping block or something similarly to Ace. I would almost say that similarly to the relationship between Doflamingo and Crocodile, how there are fun parallels that you can make between the two, that's like a fun parallel. Like, oh, hey, we are sparking another war from another brother that happens to be Luffy's brother. Now, if you give the exact same story where it's the 7 warlords versus 1 Yonko crew, and the Marines behind the 7 Yonkos, and then just go back to New Marineford, I can agree that'd be a little meh.
But there's no more warlords.
Yeah, I mean, there's like fun ways you can change it up, though, right? Oh, and there's no more warlords. I forgot about that. Oh, yeah,
there's no more warlords now, so it's gonna be different. There's what is it? The SSG or some shit like that. SS. There's like a
the new weapon that they made that isn't pacifistas or something.
Yeah.
They made something called like SSG. I don't even know. I assume it's like it like rivals what do you call it? An ancient weapon or something. It has to.
Does it?
I assume anyway.
Yeah, we're kind of like, you know, like 40 minutes in, but I haven't said like I haven't read the manga. I'm like an anime like watcher, but reason why I haven't read the manga, because if I were to start now, I would have to start from the beginning because that's just who I am as a person. And I don't know if I want to do that task. I don't know if I want to go through reading the whole thing in the manga and then catching up to Wano on the manga.
Couldn't be me. I am very much I've only recently started reading manga within like the past couple, like 4, maybe 5 years. And it's all, I only read like 4 as far as I can count at the moment. And it's all based on animes that I was watching. And then it just got to a really juicy part in the anime. And I said, fuck this. I can't wait anymore. I'm reading. And I just picked up from whatever chapter got, you know, adapted in the show. And I was like, all right, start from chapter 32 or whatever. And that's where I've been.
I couldn't do that because I feel like even though I probably watched the adaptation of it, I'm not getting the gist of the story. Like, sure, there's the anime and then there's what Oda's telling, right? And I think if I want to know what Oda's story is, I could just like true, I could read the manga and get a better idea of what the story he's trying to tell as opposed to learning it from the anime, right? Like, I would like to just see, like, you know, I don't know. I feel like the Wano, especially in the manga too, probably from the last, it's gonna have like a different tone. I don't know. I'm just like spitballing here. So I haven't even read the manga, so I can't even say the differences, right?
I changed from anime to manga during the Doflamingo fight way back in the day. For when Luffy originally debuted his Gear 4th for the first time. And I was just kind of like, all right, I wanna see it. And I really just wanted to get to the end of Dressrosa because when I was watching it, I was like, I don't want to watch this anymore. I just want to see Doflamingo lose. I want to see the end.
Bro, 2 years of my actual life was spent in a 24-hour period on Dressrosa.
In the manga, it was a 3-year period. You could have nearly gone through the entirety of high school in the time it took to go through just Dressrosa.
I went through like halfway through to college. It was insane. I remember when we finished, I just looked at my friend and I was like, bro, we finished it. We finished. We finally finished Dressrosa. I finally caught up to like modern day episodes. Like, bro.
Dude, that's how I feel about Wano. I finally caught up. I'm like, I'm 1,000 episodes in. Yay! And it's like, wait, this arc started like 2 years ago? What are you talking about? Like, or like this started Wano was like 3 years, something like that.
Like, welcome to the team. Like, you're gonna probably be like hitting the Dressrosa juices like we were back in the day. Once you get to like towards the end of Wano, like once you get to like the big final climactic battle, you're gonna be like, I want to see it.
That being said, like I do know what's going on. I have a bit of idea of what's going on in the manga.
But yeah, all things considered, you know, we kind of spoiled you in the Sanji cast alone.
Oh, for sure. But like stuff like that, like I kind of already know. And then there's other stuff too. There was one thing you guys like I think spoiled that I didn't know about, but like it wasn't like nothing big. Like I'm obviously I have a One Piece itch. I don't really care. I just want the information. But there's also like another panel that I saw that came out like an earlier chapter, but it hasn't been adapted in the anime yet. And that's like Blackbeard in Whole Cake Island. I hear that's a thing.
Do I remember this?
No, well, I saw the panel, so I know it's a thing, but it hasn't been adapted in the anime yet. Well, there you go. So now you're fucking me up.
If this happened, if anything, so I haven't watched Whole Cake because when I tried watching Whole Cake, pacing was garbaggio anime wise. Like, I was watching a little bit, then we got to Luffy versus Biscuit or Cracker, whatever his name is. That fight lasts 13 episodes. I rage quit twice.
This man like still talks about this to this day. First of all, I checked. It was like 9 episodes. And I just want you to know there were just as many chapters of Luffy versus Biscuit as there were episodes in the anime, as far as I am aware. Just so we're clear.
But that's the thing. An anime shouldn't be a 1-for-1 chapter an episode thing. You know what I mean? That's a bad ratio.
No, I could agree with that too.
I mean, if it's 1-for-1, that's bad. Unless like that chapter is super meaty.
Well, Dressrosa has like the worst ratio of all time. I think at one point it was like 0.6 chapters to 1 episode.
I think there's more episodes of Dressrosa than there is chapters of Dressrosa, if I'm not mistaken.
That I can confirm for you. Yes, that is indeed a thing.
So that's a thing, and that shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you.
And then allegedly Katakuri versus Luffy is 26 episodes, and like I know that fight is like super hype and really cool, but like
is it super hype?
I'll get around to it.
So I got a little theory to throw out to you. I have a feeling that Katakuri. Well, then, so you guys. Well, I don't know. I'll caught up with you. Are you guys both caught up with the manga?
I'm caught up.
Okay. Yeah. I think we both are.
All right. So like, you guys may know more information than what my puny brain knows.
What my anime brain has.
Yeah, with my anime brain. And so you guys probably know. So like, if I have like a theory and like just correct me if I'm wrong, or if there's like something maybe you don't want to tell me, it's okay. But if you want to tell me too, like I don't mind. But
I'll try my best. I will throw the caveat out there that like I have very little knowledge of anything based in Whole Cake Island. That's like the one gap I have in my One Piece.
Let me tell you. I am your Whole Cake expert. I love the shit out of that arc. That's like my favorite arc in the entirety of the time skip.
I dig. I think so here's a hot take. I think my favorite arc is actually Zoe.
Well, Zoe's great because it's like quick and painless, right? And it like sets up so many like big things. But
that's it. That's exactly.
I have a hard time calling it like my favorite of the post time skip because like it's such a. I don't want to call it a cop out, but it's like a transitional arc. It's not really like a full blown arc. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what? If for a transitional arc, it didn't have to go that hard, dude. The whole like Mink and Jack's fight and like go with this like was it like 5 days of war, 3 days of war, and then the Duke Dogstorm lost a leg and Cat Viper lost an arm, and then you're all like this whole time. I mean, this whole time I thought there was like I was like, oh my god, there's no samurai here. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. But like these guys are obviously dedicated and keeping the secret. And then you find out he was there. Like that made me tear up a bit. And then especially Luffy's smile in the anime when he finds like, oh, we'll do anything for a friend. And Luffy's like, yeah, I fuck with that. Like I was like, oh,
he's like, I fuck with that.
Yeah, like I fuck with that. Like, yeah, you guys are my people. Where have you guys been this whole time? On this elephant?
I will say, I cried like a little baby when I found out that Raizo really was safe the whole time.
When they bowed to Kinemon too, I was like, oh my god, like what's going on? Like, because the whole tension too before that was so good. You're like, oh my god, are they gonna like duke it out with these samurais? Like, what's going on, right? And then they just bow. Like, I don't know. For me, Zoe, for such a small arc, it didn't need to pack that big of a punch, and that's why it's my favorite. Like I
feel that
for like Fishman Island, it was more of showing off their new powers, right?
Literally,
What was after that? Punk Hazard. The only thing I liked about Punk Hazard was Lost Speech, and him cutting the island in half.
Yeah,
that was pretty much the only thing I enjoyed about Punk Hazard. It was more for gags, like the whole Kinemon's butt running around.
Yeah, dude, I love the gags in Punk Hazard though.
Yeah, so it was more of a gag arc, right? But then you get Dressrosa. Don't get me wrong, Dressrosa, Whole Cake Island, and even Wano. They're big epic arcs, and like I enjoyed not every second of watching it, but I enjoyed watching it, and I enjoyed the story it told. But Zoe was so short, and that it just knocked me on my feet. I'm like, whoa, chill out, dude.
Knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
I respect that, man. I feel that.
That's all it was for me, at least. But I think I was going to say something else and I forgot. Oh, it's the theory about Katakuri. I think, I'm not too sure what's going to happen with Big Mom after Wano. I know she's down for the count from what I heard, like in the recent chapter.
She ain't dead. I'll tell you that right now. Like, that's not technically confirmed, but if she's dead, that's bullshit.
No, I don't think she's dead. No, like, come on, this is One Piece. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
She's not dead, but I think she's down for schizophrenia. You got to chill, bro. You're freaking me out here. I'm like, wait, do I?
She's
reality?
somewhere chilling in an ocean, as far as I remember.
Listen, that's my role here. I try to, when anyone has clear understanding of future events that they have not seen themselves, I so doubt. I so doubt.
So for mine, Big Mom's down for the count. She might not be down for the count for the rest of the story, but from what I hear with like Blackbeard and Whole Cake Island and stuff like that, I find Katakuri. I feel like Katakuri could potentially, because even I saw like an episode where the Big Mom pirate said if Big Mom were to go away or like something happened to her, we'd follow Katakuri. And I think the Katakuri and Luffy fight, the outcome of that, I think Katakuri and the Big Mom pirates could eventually, even the Kaido pirates, the Beast pirates could eventually join the Grand Fleet.
Yo, that is a take.
It's funny. What is it? There's a meme going around that people are like trying to quote unquote predict the ending of Luffy versus Kaido because Luffy doesn't kill people. So they're here thinking like as a meme, like, oh, Luffy's gonna win the fight, quote unquote. How he does that, who knows? But at the end, he's just gonna like become bros with Kaido, and then there's the Beast Pirates join the fleet.
That's Kaido's vibe.
Oh, all right.
Like Kaido does respect strong people, so like that's one thing I'm saying about Kaido.
I don't think Luffy would ever forgive Kaido for everything he's done.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
I don't know how this fight's gonna end. I've been thinking about that for the past couple months. But if that happens, that is some nonsense.
Yeah, probably Oda doesn't even know how the fight's gonna end at this point, man. We don't even know.
It's still going on. Still to be determined.
Allegedly toward the end. Not sure how.
But one of the reasons, so I got sources for, or like reason, sources for this, for reasons why I think this. So one, what's her name? Toma? No, the one with the little, no, the one with that shoots the ball.
The Kibi Dongo. Yeah, that's Tama.
Is it Tama? No,
Tama.
the one that has the ball in her cheeks, like she has like a food. She keeps she's a tamer.
Yeah, it's Tama. That's what I'm telling you.
Oh,
yep, Otama.
I thought that was like Toki or something. I don't know. I'm bad with Japanese names.
No. Toki is Momo's mom, the Odin's wife.
No, okay. Wait, who's the one with the pink hair? What's her name? The one that smiles.
Pink hair. I can't remember her name.
No.
That's Tomo.
You're thinking of.
I swear that's Tomo.
No.
Tomo.
Tama is Kibi Dongo girl, but you're thinking of
the one Luffy first meets.
Okay, yeah, the girl Luffy first meets is Otama. She has the devil fruit where she pinches her cheek, makes a candy, and she feeds it to an animal.
Yes.
They obey her.
All right, excuse my stupidity. So, so when I first saw her like taking control over the Beast Pirates, that's exactly where my brain went. Was eventually at the end of this, all these Beast Pirates are gonna become good guys because she's just gonna give them these little balls and they're gonna listen to whatever she says, right?
Mhm.
So, and then if she said, "Hey," which we already seen happen. Hey, follow Luffy. Hey, follow Luffy. And then that's what I say. And then Katakuri, I felt like Katakuri would join the Straw Hats or at least like help them after the moment when, at least when I saw in the anime, when they first went to the mirror world, or when Luffy grabbed Katakuri and all this stuff, took them in the mirror world, and then he smashed the mirror. And then Katakuri looked at him, and the first thing he said was, "So this is the will of a captain, right?" Like not even like he has the respect for Big Mom as a captain, right? Like he in the way he says it, it's like, so this is like, he's never seen that kind of like determination and will.
I will say, I don't know a lot about the Big Mom pirates. I definitely agree with you that there's going to be some funky business happening from Katakuri's side. I think that when Big Mom gets back to Whole Cake, Katakuri is going to potentially make a move for being the new big guy in charge. I think he's going to tell his mom off or something like that. Now, whether or not Big Mom's going to take that lying down, I don't know. And whether or not he's going to use his authority, assuming he gets his authority, to join the Straw Hat Alliance, I also wouldn't necessarily know. But I do think that based on the ending of the duel between Luffy and Katakuri, there's a significantly large chance that that'll become another story beat where he's like, all right, enough is enough. I'm taking over.
Well, for Kaido, how about this? Maybe Kaido like doesn't officially join the Grand Fleet, but maybe like kind of how like Crocodile rallies behind him in Marineford. Like there's gonna be a situation where Kaido's like, "Hey, if I'm gonna fight on anyone's side, I probably might fight on Luffy's side." Like, it might not be like an official, because even too like sure, Luffy didn't even want the Grand Fleet to join them, so it's not like you need Luffy's permission to join the Grand Fleet. You just need to be there when he needs your help, kind of thing. That's how I see it, right? So it may not be like an official thing, but I do think Kaido's forces maybe and Big Mom's forces would join the Straw Hat in this war that's gonna split the seas kind of deal. Like I kind of feel that. I don't know. That's like I said. I don't know what's going on in the manga, but that's kind of how I am right now. That's like my headcanon so far.
Okay, so Katakuri, sure. Anyone from Whole Cake Island who's a Big Mom crew member, that's a hard sell for me.
Well, they already said they're gonna follow Katakuri, so they don't have to follow Luffy. They just have to follow Katakuri.
That's true. I guess a part of me wonders like how much of a divide internally of Whole Cake Island is there between like I'm loyal to Katakuri or I'm loyal to Big Mom.
Right. That's going to be the next big one, which is why I think it'll have like its own little mini story section of if that inevitably happens. I will say, without being specific in current manga stuff, honestly, we don't really know the fates of either of them yet, so it's still completely to be determined regardless. I personally hope they get knocked out of the story this arc. I think
Like,
that
completely?
as a coming of age story, I hope that Big Mom and Kaido are done. Maybe not both of them in the same time, but I do hope that when they're inevitably resolved, that they are knocked out. Only because, I don't know, I like the fact that the story, constantly is evolving in a, the next generation is going to be what is going to shape the planet, whatever. And it's a constantly reoccurring bit with like Whitebeard and Roger that, they were too early in Roger's case, or with Whitebeard, he just vibed on the sea until he became an old man. And then on one last hurrah was like, all right, I'm good. I had my time. I think there's something to be said for these other main emperors, like following in the footsteps of their predecessors, I think. And I would prefer to see that over a full-blown Kaido Big Mom are like, all right, well, we're going to join the war and we're going to help the Straw Hats. I'm like, you know what? Your time's like gone. Fuck off.
The thing where Whitebeard and Roger are out of the story. Well, I guess Roger doesn't count, but Whitebeard's only out of the story because he's dead. So do you think
Yes.
Big Mom and Kaido, though, like, do you
Not
think
necessarily.
if they're not dead,
you can write.
they're not going to come back? Like,
I think you can write characters out of a story in a myriad of ways, right?
they're
I'm
not
gonna
just
say,
any characters. They're prominent figures in this
Well,
world.
but
They're like one of the balances, right? It's like they got rid of the warlord systems, but the warlords are still going to be in the story, I think, right? Like, maybe they're not Yonkos, but I think they're too big of a character to just be sidelined like that after this. Man, that's my take.
Yeah, man does raise a good point. I
agree.
guess I'm not really sure then. I
Yeah.
guess I would say I hope that they are not a main focus going forward after they are inevitably taken down their pegs, I guess, is really where I stand behind.
Yeah, I don't want to see them fight against them again. That's for sure.
I
Sorry,
can
Jeff,
understand that. I think there will be, or I'm hoping there's a finality to Kaido's story here at Wano. I don't think Big Mom's out of the story after this, and in ignoring whatever manga knowledge I have, a part of my belief in that is that for whatever particular reason, the manga community is very convinced that sooner rather than later, if not the immediate next arc/island we go to, is going to be Elbaf. And Big Mom is from Elbaf, is a giant, like a true one, quote unquote. If Big Mom was to ever be written out of the story in whatever capacity, I think it would be there. And I'm hoping the manga community is correct in this prediction of theirs, because that sounds dope as shit. Like all the theories I've been hearing about, like, I think we're going to Elbaf. When we go to Elbaf, this is what I think could or should happen. And I'm like, I'm eating this shit up. I love this.
I kind of think that will also transpire, because as of right now, Oda has said that supposedly the series is on track to end in like 4 years or something like that.
That's nuts.
So
That's not true.
No,
I mean, like, it's true that he said that, but I don't believe that it's going to end in 4 years like that.
Right.
That dude's been saying it's ending in 5 years since like 20 years ago, dude. He is maybe 5 years
no,
story
not
time.
necessarily. That is a mistake. So the last time he put a hard deadline was he said 8 years, and he was just starting Whole Cake. So it has been, I think, 6 years since the start of Whole Cake. So he's only slowly adding on years. So if you assume that like at its worst ratio, he's adding on like 1 or 2 years from his
if he's adding years, that's a problem.
Well, no, but I'm saying there's a realistic chance that we only have like 6 years left. Like 6 years is a real chance.
I'm thinking
so. With that, and I don't know about 10. 10
I think 10 is a reasonable, like, maximum hard cap of how much longer we take. If I'm hitting 40 before One Piece finishes, I got questions.
I think 6 is reasonable. That's where I think my take is going to be at. I think 6 years from today, give or take, he'll be done. But regardless, I think with that in mind, he's going to finish Wano pretty soon. There's definitely not more than like 20 chapters left, I don't think, based on what's happening. But maybe I'm completely out of base on that one.
That feels a little too... Okay, I'll give you the caveat of Act 3, which we are currently in this alleged Kabuki play parallel we're using for Wano.
Okay, but that hasn't been confirmed yet either. Like, that's even a thing.
I mean, that's true, but it feels like it. Like, we've had Act 1, 2, 3.
If we use that as gospel, then yeah, we're still in Act 3.
I think Act 3 will end, maybe in 20 chapters, give or take. And then I assume Act 4 would be, the traditional, like, okay, we've finished the big fight. Let's rest up, probably do a bunch of party, probably do a bunch of lore info dump about what's happening, around the world, blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with that. I'm saying that's not going to take longer than 20 chapters.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to take, 35 chapters is a year.
Yeah, I definitely think by next year, we should be starting the next arc. Hopefully. Like, fingers crossed.
Yeah, I think for sure will absolutely be on the next arc within the year, I think. So about 20, maybe 25 chapters, give or take, whatever. But with that in mind, I do think that the next thing to happen will probably be Elbaf, because it's been teased in the series for way too long. If they completely skip it, it would be a tragedy. And there's really not a lot of room to have the Elbaf arc and the Grand War unless you just do them like one after the other. Like, as soon as they go to Elbaf, they'll like befriend the giants. They'll like add them to like the team. Like, Harudin's going to be there and he's going to be like, yo, these guys are chill. We're all going to go fight with them on the big war or something like that.
Yo, these guys are chill.
And then the big, yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then the big war will start probably from there. Now I don't know. I don't see them doing another baby arc in there, but for the most part, I think that we have a layout that is probably close to, if not the end regime is going to be Elbaf, the big war, and then if Blackbeard doesn't go down during the big war, then maybe like a final Blackbeard before or after the war. I'm not sure where I would place him. I would almost place him at the end, because I think he is like the final boss personally, unless they do bring it all at like the same time, where it's like, the Marines versus Blackbeard versus Luffy, like all at the same time. Like, maybe that's a thing. I don't know. We'll see.
I think when it comes to Blackbeard being the endgame boss, so do you think, this is a better question. Do you think they're going to get to Laugh Tale before or after the Grand War, the big war?
Oh, I think Blackbeard's going to beat him there.
You think? That's what I was thinking too. Like, I'm on that ball too.
I think the last fight, if we assume Luffy versus Blackbeard is the final big battle of One Piece, I think it happens at Laugh Tale.
Yeah, I think so too.
After this Grand War.
I think Blackbeard beats them to Laugh Tale. Like, in my mind, I see it as Elbaf, the big war. While the big war happens, Blackbeard uses this as an opportunity to sneak his way to Laugh Tale and be the first crowned king of the pirates. And then Luffy's like, man, I can't take that shit lying down.
It's like, you killed my brother, or you got my brother killed, you took away my dream. I've had it. It's over.
Yeah, I'm done with you. Like, you pissed me off for the last time, Teach.
That's one thing I gotta say about Luffy. Like, one of the reasons why I fell in love with One Piece is because I kind of, like, I'm not trying to make like a whole like thing here, but I didn't grow up in like the best of neighborhoods, and I didn't have like the best of role models, right?
Sure, yeah.
Luffy is fucking gangster to the bone, bro. he's a hardcore gangster, and like it only got more hardcore gangster. Like, as soon as I hit Ennie's lobby, I was like, oh, this guy's bona fide gangster. And then he goes and he's like, you know what? I'm not done with Ennie's lobby. You gotta kill my brother. I'm going there too. Like,
yeah, dude. Like, he's an absolute thug, dude.
Yeah, it's thug, bro. Like, it honestly, it's probably like the most gangster shit I've ever seen in my whole life, was watching Luffy just do his whatever he has to do to become king of the pirates. Like, especially in that scene too, when he's like talking to Big Mom and Fishman Island. It's like, you know what? Fishman Island, my territory. Like, that's some gangster shit, right?
Yeah, dude, Luffy's such a homie.
He's like, yo, this is your territory? I'm sitting here right now. I don't see you here. Looking like my territory now.
Looking like a straw hat territory to me.
It's like Heisenberg.
I see a Jolly Roger with a big fat straw hat on it. I don't see no fucking candy lady.
It's like Heisenberg, but instead of fedora, it's a straw hat.
Yeah, right. I am glad that you brought up him going over to Sabaody. One of the other things we did want to talk about while you're here is so obviously in our cast, we are now going to be going into the Sabaody arc. And we're actually pretty pumped about it. We've been I think Devin and Christian, who just joined our Discord.
That is Jordy. He's just here to listen. Don't mind him.
Yeah. What up, Jordy?
What's up, Jordy?
Devin and Christian have been we've been teasing kind of for a while now that, one of my favorite parts of One Piece is its ability to cover very dark topics, but also layer it in a foil of like digestibility that's like super easy to like recognize and like, like handle, I guess. Basically kidifying very dark subjects.
Oh, yeah. I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, up until now, we haven't really had a lot of that other than maybe like, Robin getting kidnapped and being forced to like work for CP9, which is like, that's a little dark. We've also had obviously the stuff with Brooke recently, which is, that hits kind of, that's poor Brooke, man. But more importantly, I've been really looking forward to getting into like the Celestial Dragons and the auction house stuff and how they're finally going to see like what makes the fishmen like actually kind of an interestingly written race of creature as opposed to like just the big baddies of Nami's arc from when we first met them or whatever. And then you can see in Sabaody when they made the Sabaody Park or whatever, how everything in Arlon Park was like a giant reference. Like there's so many like nice little bits that like really rebound on some of its like already pre-established lore. Mm-hmm. And it all comes back to slavery. It all comes back to what do you call it when you sell a person?
Trafficking.
Human trafficking.
Human trafficking.
I mean, all these like super like intense like real world issues are so carefully brought into the story at this part. I'm super pumped. I'm hoping that they respond to it in a way that is not poor, but we'll have to wait and see. Yeah.
I think they will because it's very real to the core, especially when you get like Hachi like trying to tell Luffy to like not
intervene. Like you can't touch Charlo. Like the punch scene. Oh my god.
No, but yeah, the punch scene too is hype. But I feel like there's so many good things about pre-time skip One Piece that like Sabaody kind of just like grass it all, right? Because especially like there's that scene too when Zoro meets the Celestial Dragon and he's like the only one that doesn't know what Celestial Dragon is. And it's like the moment you see Zoro on screen, you're just like, oh fuck, like something like this.
No.
Yeah, like you're just like, oh, this is gonna go sideways real fast, right? And then on top of that, yeah, there's just so many like Sabaody. Yes, like on top of that, like it's a good arc, but it wouldn't be good if it wasn't the journey we just went on either, right? Because that last island, like Tabia, it's so like it's so cool, right? Because especially, I think, dude, they're gonna love the supernovas because that's like the best world building you can do.
I love the fact that the supernovas were literally just like made because the editors told Oda, "Hey, we need something else to hype people up for the future. Can you come up with something?" And he's like, "I don't know. Here's 9 new characters."
And my God, he did it.
Very unique in their own ways.
He made some of the best characters in the whole show, and Law is definitely one of the best characters in the whole show, and I'm so mad at myself for sleeping on him for years.
Law is such a cool dude. I love Law. He's got my favorite paramecia probably in the entire series.
They don't call it the OPOP fruit for nothing.
Yeah, OPOP. Oh, he's O fucking P, bro.
OP as fuck. It didn't dawn on me that it was actually the op fruit until after I started watching the dub, because that's what Smoker calls it when they first meet, and I'm like, oh, op.
That's what
like
I thought.
Operation.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And then I guess eventually they're out time. They're just like, yeah, no, it's OP no mi, and I'm like, that's weird, but whatever. Who am I to question anything?
Well, I know that. Do they call it the OP now?
I feel like I've been hearing that.
No,
in sub for me at least. In sub, I hear OP no mi. And maybe that's just like a pronunciation thing, but
I think they're saying op maybe because like they probably don't have like op as like a thing in their like native tongue. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But in dub they say op.
Yeah. The dub they
okay,
they call it op.
Good. I'm glad that's understood. I was getting really afraid. I was like, we're just not gonna make the reference to it being an operation room. No,
but I also think too the scene where Kid and Law and Luffy are on screen for the first time, trying to like, bickering and all that stuff. That's so awesome, especially too because like that's part where kids like, you got weird powers, and Luffy's like, what do you mean I got weird powers? Like, your powers are weird. It's like, well, like, yeah, like everyone has weird fucking powers here too, except for Kid. I think Kid has the most normal power, right? Because it's something we've seen before.
It's funny you say that because I think Kid has a like weird power for the universe he's in. Like, I think magnetism is like OP as shit in like our modern times where like everything's electronic based, everything's metal, blah blah blah. But I think about like the world he's in, and I'm like, this is a strange power to have.
You're like, I don't think that's gonna do you that well.
Yeah,
there,
I'm like, this is definitely not the best fruit you could have in the pirate world of One Piece. Like, I'll put it that way.
I'm a Kid stan, and I think his magnetism powers are bad the fuck ass, and I will stand behind them until I die. I also love that Luffy, Kid, and Law are like the three biggest badasses at Sabaody, like of the supernovas or whatever, and they're all Paramecia types. No Logias, no Zoan types among them. They're all just Paramecias. Love that. Big fan.
Well, is I think all of them are Parametheus.
Well, no, because Drake's a Zoan.
Oh, Drake's a Zoan.
Drake Zoan. What's her name is a Paramecia.
Was Gankapo? Is that a Zoan? If he's a castle, or is that
Gangbej is definitely Beige.
Yeah.
He's definitely Paramecia. Killer doesn't have one. Zoro doesn't have one. Well, no. Blackbeard is technically a supernova.
No, he's a part of the worst generation.
He's a part of the worst generation, not a supernova. I'm so sorry. Yeah. You're right. Okay, so he's not in there. Then there's Hawkins, who
I think it's a Paramecia.
I think he is a devil fruit. Yeah, I think it's a Paramecia.
Yeah, it's probably Paramecia. That should be Paramecia.
Raw Logia. Or Zoan.
I think it's Paramecia. He's got a very unique fruit. It's definitely not Logia in my mind.
And the voodoo doll is a part of his.
Actually, hold on. I think he's in a somewhat similar position as what's his name? As Katakuri, where he's a Paramecia, but he blurs some lines occasionally.
He has the straw fruit.
Yeah, the voodoo dolls is what confuses me. Is that part of his fruit too? Like he could, or is that like, I don't know. Hawkins is a weird character.
It is indeed a Paramecia. I've clarified.
Yeah, Hawkins is a weird power because I don't know. He has like fortune card. He's like reading your fortune tarot cards, and he's like,
yeah, you're like, okay, how much of this is the devil fruit, and you just being a magic man?
Yeah,
clarify for me.
For sure, exactly, and yeah, no, but I think the introduction of the supernova is such a cool. I think like especially Devin. Devin seems like he's like a world building nerd, so I think especially that like,
dude, I think One Piece is some of the best world building that like fiction has ever made. Like if you just give it the time of day, I find all the world building in this series to be fantastic.
And then
personally.
With the supernovas, knowing that like, because when you hear Crocus say that like, oh, you could, it's such a throwaway line, you never really think you're gonna go back to it. But then you meet Ghost Abioli and you're like, oh, wait, other pirates went these other routes and now we're all on the same island. Like, I thought that was cool. Like, I thought that was cool. It
makes sense, dog.
Yeah, it makes total sense, right? I thought it was a cool. And then they're all like part of like the worst generation too, right? But I don't know. I thought it was awesome. And then Kid, and then, seeing Kid and Juan, like, especially in Juan now, right? You've seen the importance of the worst generation, right? It just makes you think what Oda has planned for the next guys, right? I think, the other ones we haven't really seen is was Julie Ribane, but it seems like she has her story goes deep into the One Piece.
Yeah, Oda's going to use her to, I think, solidify more of like Kuma backstory. To be honest,
I'm hoping.
They clearly have some kind of relationship with one another. I don't know if it's like, if he was like maybe a friend of hers, or maybe she was like the daughter of Kuma's or something, and then maybe he was like the former king. I don't know. There's definitely something.
From the West Blue or the North Blue?
Blue? I forget. I want to say it's the West Blue. I want to say it's the West Blue.
Oh, another part too, but like even going like, because this is the Spoilercast, so I watched the most recent episode on the anime, and it was Yamato talking to Ace.
Oh, such a good episode. Like that, it's almost upsetting that it's anime original. It's just meant to like fill in the visual gaps of Yamato explaining the story of when they met Ace in the manga. It's such a good episode, dude.
Yeah, but then yeah, Ace was telling Yamato about basically the supernovas before there were supernovas, or like before Luffy went out to sea, and then he even said, "But don't worry, I know one that's gonna come out on top of that," and then he shows like Luffy, and I don't know, I loved it, especially like we don't. Man, Oda, bro, like what a psycho! This guy's a psycho, man. Like Ace died in Marineford, and then he bring it back in Wano, and on top of that, he still has such like relevant story to Wano. Like after all these years, it's like, bro, what's wrong with you, Oda, bro? How are you doing this? Like,
I agree. This is definitely a nice callback. Marco showing up out of nowhere in Wano like blew my mind. I'm like, where did you come from? He's like, I'm visiting Wano all the time. I'm here to take care of these dying people because Kaido's poisoning their water or whatever.
You bring me a beautiful question. Okay, so again, I don't know what's going on in the manga, but I think it's kind of bullshit that Whitebeard never went after Kaido for Oden's death.
You think so? I think it's totally chill.
What do you mean? What?
Listen. He said it straight. He set the record straight. He was best friends with Oden for the longest time. He left the crew to go join Roger.
Of Oden as a brother.
Even though, listen, dog, Oden and him understood where they were at as leaders, and Whitebeard made a call. He was like, listen, man, that's for Oden to figure out. If anything, it's a callback to Luffy, because characters can be imperfect, by the way. It's a callback to Luffy when he first found out that Ace was fucking dying, and he's like, nah, dude, that's his adventure, that's his shit. But it wasn't until shit got real that all of a sudden he was like, okay, hold on. So at one point you're like, on one hand, you got Whitebeard, who's just like, listen, that's not my vibe. We had our time, we're bros. That was his shit. That's his country. I trust him to be able to, set his country straight for the future. And unfortunately, they didn't.
But I'm saying revenge after his death. I feel like, especially finding out how he died, my man was bowled to death for an hour. I'd be a little peeved, bro. I'm like, yo, what'd you do with my boy? I don't know. Especially he's 20 years. Right, I feel like after 5 years, maybe it might start peeving you that he's kind of fucking up your homie's country, like that. I don't know.
Maybe my biased brain says they saw each other as brothers, and not Whitebeard seeing him as a son. So he recognizes that he can make his own decisions and be part of his own battles. Whereas the antithesis, of course, would be like what happened with Ace when he got captured. That's one of his kids in his eyes. So of course he's going to come to bat and, save his son from, his utter demise or whatever, because in his mind, there's nothing sadder than seeing a kid pass on before you pass on, or whatever his line was back in that has been said by many at a time.
On top of that, I think an extra added layer for context is Whitebeard's, I guess, internal conflict with trying to resolve the issues concerning Ace, Blackbeard killing insert Whitebeard crew member here, and trying to resolve all that.
That happened 20 years after the fact, right? That's what I'm saying. It's just Oden's death happened around the same time as Roger's death, right? So just I don't know. I feel like, especially if Kaido's also
Ace
an emperor.
didn't visit it until after it had already long since been, completely taken over by Kaido, right?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Maybe, I don't know, obviously the Yonkos are having beef with each other all the time too, right? So maybe it's just something that I think about. I don't know, maybe it doesn't need an explanation. I do agree with you too, Brandon. Luffy saw Ace in trouble. He never really gave a fuck either, because he knew he was
he thought he had it handled.
Yeah, but I mean, just after the fact too, though. But then again, I also think Wano's an enclosed country. But then I think it's a lot. I find that hard to grasp that Whitebeard.
Yeah,
I mean,
obviously the easy answer is listen, man, why the hell did Whitebeard take this lying down? That was his friend, bruh.
Yeah.
But I don't know. In a lot of ways, I don't think it's an easy answer. I think he was long since past his prime. He might not have been looking to duke it out with Kaido. He had his own shit, like Justin said, going on in the crew at the time with Teach or whatever. And he probably was just kind of we had our time, and that is what it is. Now, I will give you, I'm very surprised that what's his name never was man, I should really go back to Wano. the pistol guy, whatever his name is.
Oh, Izzo. Dude,
Izzo, yeah.
Izzo. I am very surprised that upon hearing of Wano's fate, that Izzo was not like, man, I should really maybe help my home country.
Yeah, I'm happy that Oda paid off the whole Izzo from Wano, because I remember seeing that in Marineford, and because I was watching in 2021, I was like, oh, Wano. I hear this word often talking about One Piece currently, right? Until I found out what Wano was, right? So I was like, oh, there's like a little detail here, right? But dude, there's a scene, at least in the episode in the anime, where they're like fighting Kaido, and like all the samurais are using swords, and here's fucking Izzo using guns, and it's like, bro,
using guns, bro.
like, bro, what's going on? This doesn't make sense.
I love Izzo so much. He's such a gangster, dude. He just shows up. He's like, I have escalated beyond the use of sword. I am gun.
dude. When you see it in the anime, it's kind of like it's so obvious that it doesn't fit with what's happening in the scene right now. You know what I mean? Like,
sure,
they're all stabbing Kaido, and then you see Ido pew 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 like in the background.
It was kind of the same in the manga, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I remember like that was something that everyone else was talking about as like a joke. They were like, man, everyone's really stabbing the shit out of Kaido, and then here comes Izzo with just a couple of bullets.
Just pew pew.
What a guy, dude.
Yeah.
What a guy.
No, I gotta even say too, that hallway scene. I'm guessing you, Justin, did you watch that? You know what hallway scene I'm talking about? Where they like scream out Sanucci and stab Kaido?
Always seen
like the start of the raid, like right at the beginning of the raid.
Yes, where they like all run at Kaido.
Yeah, that cool black and white like anime sequence.
Yes.
Oh, beautifully animated. Brendan, when you get to that part, just know that I watched it like 3 times and like had inappropriate responses.
It like 3 times. It was like a Daredevil hallway scene, man. It was beautiful.
Dude, Wano, I know you have like your opinions about, animation and stuff like that, and you value Wano's visual creativity and like blah 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 blah. Wano, they doing it right, man. They're just doing it right. That's what I'm saying.
They're doing it right.
God bless
the
you.
pacing ain't right, but the anime's right. You know what I'm saying? Like the animation's right.
You're right. Animation, the squad, they're doing it right for Wano. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. So for pacing, I caught up at 1005, and then like after it was what, like not even like 1005, like 900 and like 90. They were trying to get to the rooftop. Yeah, they're still not there yet.
Roof piece is starting real soon. I'm telling you right now. Roof piece is starting in a couple weeks.
Begins very soon.
I
very
hope so.
soon.
No, but it's just like I even stopped watching because I'm like, I don't want to watch until they get to the roof. And like I knew where this from what I've seen before, I could tell where this anime is going right now, because it's gonna take a long time for Luffy to get on the roof right now. So much so
to peel the veil back a little bit, I've been hearing rumors because people have been like, doing leaks for upcoming manga, or not just manga stuff, but anime ups and stuff like that. So this weekend we're on a break, I believe.
Don't tell me this.
And then 1014 and 1015 are coming up the weeks after. 1015 is believed to be the anime adaptation of Chapter 1000, which at that point, Roof Piece begins. So assuming that to be true, we're real close, man.
Yeah, we're real close, but the whole getting to the roof started at episode like 990, like time zone.
I will agree with you. Pacing is definitely not the worst I've experienced, at least not in the moment. But it's slowing down.
I noticed something. I watching it recently. I noticed something. They're doing the Rebecca flashback, but with Oda's death scene.
They're doing the Rebecca flashback, but with Odin's death scene.
Yeah, in Dressrosa, when they did Rebecca's flashback every episode for like 5 minutes of the whole episode. Yeah, they're doing that, but with Odin's flashback. Like they're just like
got it.
And it's like, oh, come on, man, don't. Like, I thought you learned your lesson, man. Like, why are you doing this again? Of
course they did. They need to pad for time like they always do, man. They give you some prettier visuals, and they just want to. I just wish that One Piece could do, because there's a lot of times where Oda off screens things. The anime has like flexibility to like add some like layers to what happened off screen. I feel like that I would love to see. But half the time they're just kind of like, yeah, we'll just settle for reaction shots and as much still images as we possibly can, which, I mean, I can't be too hurtful or, hateful of, because honestly, I feel bad for animators. They are treated like absolute dirt in this day and age. So I can kind of understand where they're coming from. At this point, I just wish that One Piece could just stop getting an anime and they could just give it like the My Hero treatment. Just give it like a good season and then stop for a bit and then do it again. Like,
take breaks. Okay. I thought you were telling me like I was like, yo, My Hero anime.
Well, I hear the series just sucks after that.
People are been on the series, both manga and anime. The manga is fine. I like the way the story is going. It's closing up as we speak, actually. But the animation choices in the past 2, maybe 3 seasons, have been criminal. Particularly, everybody knows about the fight between Overhaul and Lemillion. That was supposed to be one of the best moments of the entire My Hero series, and they turned it into a PowerPoint slideshow, and we're still mad about it.
A PowerPoint slideshow. Oh my god!
That's not even a joke at this point. It was like you have like a cutout picture of your character on a popsicle stick, and you just kind of move it left to right as if you're like in a children's play at your local elementary school. That's what that scene played out like in the anime, and it is criminal. My boy Lemillion deserved better.
Yeah, no, I honestly, another confession, never really got into My Hero Academia, but it's always been there's so many things that's been recommended to me, and I just I'll watch it eventually, and then when I watch it, I'll just be like, how come no one ever told me about the show? So
I would recommend reading My Hero Academia now. I appreciate the anime reading.
No, dude, absolutely watch the first 2 seasons. The first 2 seasons
correct
are
on that. But I appreciate anime for clarifying things visually for me, because sometimes manga art doesn't translate well to me, especially with My Hero. There's a couple of key things that I don't pick up on, because I'm like, oh, I thought the visuals were saying this thing, but then you watch the anime and you're like, oh no, something else entirely different was happening. So the anime helps in that way, particularly the first 2 seasons. But after that, watch it if you want to. I think the manga is pretty good from then on air.
I think the first 2 seasons are fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
The first half of the third was good. The later half of the third was fine. And then everything after that I haven't even seen, because I've just heard nothing but bad things about
this last past season. You can see the shortcuts. I'm hoping with the upcoming season, they correct their mistakes, because it's supposed to be another highlight moment kind of thing.
Won't. So bringing it back to One Piece, I have 2 more things I want to run by you guys.
Go ahead.
Sure.
That's all I got. So my headcanon, and I want to ask you guys what you guys think about it. Maybe it's your headcanon. Maybe this is confirmed and I'm just an idiot. But so I guess we can say the original crew, not the original crew, but the East Blue that came out of the East Blue, they're kind of, I wouldn't say they're just like Robin, Chopper, Frankie, they're all a part of the Straw Hat crew just as much as them, but something about these guys are special, right? Like, is that fair to say? You guys think so?
In what way?
Like they're they're more like favorites in the sense to where the story's gonna go, right? Like treat them.
Oh well, then yeah, absolutely. I mean, they win every single character contest ever made.
Okay, so Ussop and Dressrosa got observation hockey, right?
Yes.
There's a clue to it, and it propped up when he was trying to snipe, right?
Yes.
And that's his innate ability, right? And so it makes sense that his observation hockey would work when he's trying to snipe, right? Because that's his specialty, right? That leads me. So now that's Sanji, Zoro, Luffy, and Usopp. 4 out of the 5. Now I know it's a gag most of the time, but I do think Nami uses hockey.
You think so?
Okay, so we see Garp leave bumps on Luffy. We've seen Sanji, Zoro. We've seen everyone.
I know where this is going.
Oh my god, stop. All right, now you lost me. You fucking lost me.
No, listen. There's no way. I know it's a gag, but sure, she uses hockey. Okay, now that's the gag part. But how else is she able to see a storm coming? So if Usopp can use his observation hockey,
yeah,
right. Okay, now you're picking me back up.
Yeah,
all right,
so
now we're getting back. You lost me, but now you got me again.
Don't worry. I'm not trying to lose you guys. I got you guys. So now
there you go.
Now, if Usopp's able to use his tune into his observation hockey, which means he could probably have armament hockey too, right? Like, at least I think so.
I think Usopp's gonna. I think I'm gonna go. This is gonna be my.
If you say Conqueror's hockey, I'm walking out right now.
I mean, God, Usopp.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying he won't. Is all I'm saying.
I don't know if they give. Okay, I'm not saying it won't make sense. I'm just saying if they give Usopp Conqueror's hockey, I'm walking it out.
No, man. Come on. Let my boy have his conquerors.
No, dude. Rayleigh has conquerors. What? Katakuri, Doflamingo. You can't tell me Usopp's up there with them?
Dude, man, if he just, had some faith in himself, then yeah, like, why not?
Okay, all right. If he just goes to Bible school every Sunday, eventually he'll get his haki.
Yo, listen, dog. I've been a Usopp stan for years, and he has made jokes about having Conqueror's hockey a couple of times. So all I'm saying is,
Usopp's lies becoming true.
I'm a firm believer that all of his lies become true. So
I heard the Q&A, and I asked which Straw Hat would you guys kill to push the plot forward. You no hesitation said Usopp. So do you love Usopp?
That is also correct.
Do you love Usopp, Brandon?
well, I mean, it's not that simple.
It was a hypothetical question in a hypothetical world where we gotta kill a Straw Hat for the most impact and plot development. My vote's Usopp.
So if you tell me a Straw Hat dies, if that is a requirement. So to begin the question, a Straw Hat dies. Okay, from there I pick the most likely based on what their dreams are, based on the characters that we have, and how they could accomplish them. The only one that fits the bill is Usopp. So I'm not saying that, Usopp has to get conquerors, and I'm not saying he has to die. I'm just saying that if you ask me if he's going to get conquerors, I would tell you, yeah. And if you ask me if he's the most likely Straw Hat to die, I would also say, yeah.
I know what you're saying. All I'm hearing is you want to kill Usopp, so I'm kind of confused.
Wow.
No, I'm joking.
Brandon, I can't believe you would say that, man. Come on, I thought you loved Usopp.
Come on, man.
Yeah, dog, I'm the worst, man. I feel that.
But that's my theory, though. I think Nami, maybe it's not confirmed. It's my headcanon. I think Nami uses hockey, especially the bump leaving on Luffy. Like, no one else leaves bumps on Luffy, really.
All right, you're losing me with the bump thing, but I'm with you. I'm gonna just pretend that I don't hear that part. I'm with you on the weather part.
It then. It's just a gag. Come on,
it's just a gag, bro.
No other people to leave, hurt him physically are people that uses hockey. So I wouldn't say maybe she's just angry.
It's just a gag.
Okay, all right.
It's the fist of love. It's the fist of love. It doesn't have to be hockey. It's the fist of love. That's what it is.
I don't know. It's hockey.
I like the idea of Nami having a form of observation hockey that lets her sense incoming weather. Because I think back to Isa from Skypiea, who before we ever really knew it was like our first introduction to an observation hockey user. Granted, she just kind of hears everyone's voice everywhere.
Hockey was wild.
Very.
Honestly, she has greater observation hockey than 90% of the characters that have it in the current story.
Facts.
Well, I think she's on par with Kobe, because Kobe has
Kobe kind of felt, he kind of had the same thing too. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he's also like detecting missiles or some shit like that. Like that's not my style, Kobe. I think I don't know what he's doing in the manga, but he's up there with observation. So if he can detect missiles under the sea, I think Nami can detect storms in the clouds with observation.
That seems pretty. That follows logistical sense.
I stand behind it.
No, not for fighting purposes, but for like navigational purposes. She probably had it's not like but that's my headcanon. So that leads me to my last one, and I guess again this starts with the question. So
oh boy, here we go.
What do you think Blackbeard did with Whitebeard to get his devil fruit power?
Oh, dude, I wish I knew where to go with that.
So I have one of two theories that I aspire to.
Okay.
There's three big ones, and I don't really vibe with the fact that he is secretly three brothers. That one, I think that misses me completely. I don't think that he's secretly three brothers. I do think that he will get a third devil fruit. I also think that of the two main theories that we have, it's either the awakened Logia that lets him do that, or he has more than one heart, which I could also vibe with, because he does have a really fucking wild body. If Oda made like an effort to say like, no, this guy has a weird like mutation where he just so happens to have three hearts, and he found, because he's like a historian, right? Oda said that like if he had like a role on his crew outside of being the captain, like he would be the Robin of the Blackbeard Pirates, right? So I think that at some point he found out that people can have more than one devil fruit if you have more than one heart. So I do think that he has three hearts, and he ate either Whitebeard's heart or just brought like an apple with him after he died and was like, aha, I have fruit. Now I eat.
Okay, so it's funny that you say he eats Whitebeard's heart because that's what leads me to my theory. All right, and it sounds kind of fucked up, right? For me, I thought it was kind of too dark, but there is a case of this happening before, right? Now, you guys, okay, well, Justin doesn't know, but you guys remember Whole Cake Island, right? Or Brandon, you don't remember Whole Cake Island, right?
Yeah.
How did Big Mom get her devil fruit power?
She ate caramel, baby.
So
people keep saying that's not confirmed, and I've seen like the images in the anime, and I think those people are wild and just lying to themselves.
Dude, it absolutely happened. Now, here's my question though. So if that's all it is though, so the only reason I don't think that that's what makes Blackbeard special is because then that sets a precedent, right? That secretly means that Big Mom could have another devil fruit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's secretly saying that the only reason she has the soul fruit is because of caramel, and she could eat another devil fruit and in theory have two powers, which I think if that was a thing, I'm not saying it's impossible, but if that was a thing, it would take a lot away from what makes Blackbeard such an interesting villain, right? Like, I like that they only have one character doing this.
But he's the one character that figured it out.
That's fair.
He's the one character that
this is also
figured
very
it out.
true.
That's why. I'm sorry, but continue what you were saying.
I guess I would say the heart thing makes sense, but I don't like the idea. I don't like as much the idea that the only reason he has Whitebeard's power is because Whitebeard's heart is like in his body.
So
in
I don't
addition
think it's
to his
the heart.
own.
Like, I was actually gonna go with actual cannibalism.
Oh, okay, sure.
Like, I was gonna go like so
fine.
so like maybe it's not even because I don't want to say cannibalism because I feel like that's kind of dark for Oda's saying, but then Big Mom just ate a whole tea party full of kids.
You would think it's dark, but she totally fucking ate some kids. So like,
yeah, so it's like, where's the line? So then, and then on top of that, his whole crew are stealing devil fruits from people, right? Like the last time we seen, what's his name again? The Impo down guy. He has the clear fruit, right? And it's like,
So,
right.
this is
Shiryu took
why
Absalom's fruit.
This is why I think, based on the most recent events, I've fallen further into awakened Logia territory, because I think he can strip the power from somebody alive or, well, I think they need to die. So I don't think they can stay alive, but I think he can strip the power away with the awakened power of his darkness fruit, and then basically have the devil fruit in his hands. Then the question becomes, well, then how can he have more than one? And then I start to kind of go back into like, okay, well, if he can strip them, maybe that also means that he can contain the separation or something like that, because it's an endless void. I don't know.
The canon is if you bite or if you eat a devil fruit, right? So he's not really, okay, so this is why I always think, maybe if it's not cannibalism, right? Because Oda probably won't be like, hey, our bad guy is just a cannibal. Like, it's kind of out there, right? So I would think maybe even better would just be a drinking of the blood. And the only reason why that black curtain was over him and Whitebeard is so no one, he could keep it a secret. No one can see what he's actually doing to Whitebeard's body. Like, I know a lot of people think the theory is that the cloak has something to do with the devil fruit power taking away. I think it's just something as simple as it's hiding what he's really doing.
I feel that. Yeah. I've heard the theory that, like, because he has the darkness, he needed like pitch black in order to do whatever the hell he wanted to do or whatever, which is why they threw a tarp over his head. I've heard that theory, yeah, but I kind of agree. I think there's less of a chance that it had something to innately do with the process and more to just to be like, well, I don't want anyone to know what I'm doing because I want to be an asshole.
Definitely agree with that part. I think I chime in on Brendan's theory where I do agree that Blackbeard would have 3 hearts, and that's how he would eventually get 3 devil fruit powers. However, and I guess because no one's presented an option or alternative for it, my explanation for how Blackbeard does that is that he has eaten an ancient Zoan fruit, like some special type, where he has the fruit for like a kraken or like an octopus because they have 3 hearts.
I've heard that theory as well. Yeah, that he already had the fruit for the kraken by the time he ate the Logia, right? So he already has his Zoan, which would actually, see, that answers the other question too. Number 1, what animal is he going to get? Because we got to assume that he's going to get one of each. And then number 2, what Zoan is he gonna get? Where if you aspire to the Kraken theory that has 3 hearts or whatever, he already has the Zoan and it's also kind of a fucking cool one, honestly. Like,
My problem with that is we've never so far have seen, I mean, at least not that I
Right.
remember, a fish Zoan.
Well,
Have we?
you know.
Have we? Like, have we? Like, maybe
Let
I'm
me
dumb, but,
introduce you to a guy named Kaido.
No. See, now you're gonna make me Devin right now because that's fucking bullshit. It didn't make sense before, and then when you told me that he was never a fish, he was always a dragon, it made more not sense. No, don't.
I
don't do this to me,
stated that
Justin.
we've never seen or heard of Kaido being a fish in the
No,
story.
No,
However, we know he has the fish fruit model koi fish, and in Japanese lore, similar if you follow Pokemon the way Magikarp turns into Gyarados, which is a dragon of sorts, when a koi fish swims up a waterfall in Japanese lore, you turn into a dragon. And that's how we got Kaido being a dragon dude while having the fish fruit. So, like, I'm not saying Kaido wasn't a fish at some point. We don't know. Who knows if we'll ever know. But I like the theory of Blackbeard having this octopus, kraken, Zoan type that lets him have 3 hearts, and therefore that's how he hacks the devil fruit system.
I'm just curious if you said that whole sentence with a straight face. Because, like,
listen, man. Well, he already put the cat out of the bag. I was willing to let it go, but I'm a level with you. He does have the fish fruit model koi.
Okay, no, for sure. But like I said, I was willing to be okay with the pawpaw fruit. Like I'm not saying like I hung up on it as
This man's
Devin
like,
was.
I want dragon, and nothing else. Just
Exactly.
kidding.
Like, why is it gonna be fish fruit? Like, come on. Like, you're essentially just kicking me in the nuts now.
Because Oda's a
Yeah.
storytelling genius. He's like, yo, this is a really core Japanese lore thing. I'm going to use it.
Yeah, I actually love the fact that he's got such a stupid fucking fruit that inevitably turns him into something badass. It's actually funny enough when you think about it. It's a very big parallel to Luffy, where all they did was give him the gum fruit, the power to stretch, and look what he's done with it, man. Look what he's
Okay.
done with it.
So there's a theory too that I've heard of because of the whole legendary double fruit, which I'm curious to know what your guys' thoughts on. I don't know enough to say anything about it, but if I were to say something, my guess would be the logical guess would be the Toki fruit. But people are saying that the gum fruit, and it does make sense that the gum fruit would be used to make giants. So I'm curious to know what you guys think about that. But again,
The gum fruit being used to make giants? Huh? What?
have you never heard this?
Nah, never in my life.
So apparently the so the legendary double fruit is the gum fruit, and it was renamed. Apparently it's like the giant fruit, and it's like let's say if it was to be like you were a fish and then you turned into a dragon, like you started off as a rubber person, but then eventually you could turn into a giant.
Whoa, no, I have
Interesting.
not heard this one. That's interesting.
Oh yeah, this I think I heard it on a YouTube channel called like the Long Island. Oh man, I wish I could give him credit for it because it's such a cool theory. And again, like I think it's something Island. It's a really small YouTube channel, but this dude's on some shit. Like he's coming up with some theories.
This man's onto it, man.
Yeah, like,
I mean,
he's
that's a
also
cool
chasing some
theory, and
theories,
there's,
I
like, you
definitely
know-
agree with because obviously that giveaway is the arm of the giant, right?
Right, yeah, obviously because he turns third gear and all that stuff is him turning into like giant versions of himself or whatever, right?
And
No,
that's
I
why
feel
the
that.
world
That's a
government
sick
wanted it because they wanted to make giants. Like that's a Vegapunk thing, right? That's a thing in One Piece that
Mm.
people want giants. So that's a theory I heard. I'm okay with that theory. It never really made sense to me. It does make sense if you were a fish and then you turn into a dragon, but there you lose me because that doesn't make sense.
That's a cool theory that that person stumbled upon. I do kind of feel bad because so in their weekly chapter leaks, huge leak came out discussing like the true nature of Luffy's fruit because in Wano the Gorosei they didn't say which fruit. People are assuming it was Luffy's, saying like, oh, this devil fruit we're speaking of, that's not the real name of it. Whatever it is that they're alluding to, we hid the real name from society, just avoid people from using it or truly understanding it. Blah blah blah. And so the popular theory is that Luffy doesn't have the rubber fruit. He's not made of rubber. Instead, he is made of some other type of substance that lets him have these flexible properties and stuff like that. Popular theories have been like the oil fruit or like amber resin fruit. So he can like still stretch and be flexible, but also flammable, because that's how you explain like Red Rock or Red Hawk, stuff like that.
Okay.
And in a leaked manga panel, it shows Luffy changing form, like his appearance changes, where he kind of looks like droopy and like somewhat kind of liquidy. Like it's no longer like
feels like an unnecessarily in depth like add on to the situation. By the way, my guy.
I don't vibe with this one, but I could see that this is where the alternatives are. Like, this is One Piece. Nothing makes sense. Like,
exactly.
Know what I mean? Like, could be it, bro.
So yeah, I like that dude's theory. I feel a little bad that it might probably be debunked within the coming chapters. Yeah, but that's a pretty cool theory that Luffy would actually just be a giant the whole time. He just didn't know it because he never. I guess in this way it would be his like awakening, right?
Maybe, that's what it is. This is awakening. It's and maybe that's what Kaido awakening was for the fish fruit. Was he awakened and he became a dragon, right?
Well, I still aspire to the theory that all Zoan awakens are just them becoming even more buff. You know what I'm saying? In their hybrid forms. That's me personally. I could be. I'm the odd one out only because the only time that we've been exposed to awakened Zoans was back in Impel Down, and since they were all like, they just had slightly more animalized versions of their hybrid forms, which is also why I think that Big Chopper is secretly just the awakened version of his fruit. And then I think that Kaido would be the exact same way. His awakened version of his fruit is just being even more buff, dragony version of his hybrid form, personally.
Which is a fish.
He looks like Shendu from Jackie Chan Adventure.
That's hilarious.
Shendur? I
totally agree with you though about Wendigo form being Chopper's awakening, and he only accesses it because of
it has to be.
It's the only thing, and it'd be pretty cool that Oda even teased it all the way back then. But seeing that you brought up the Impel guards down, the Impel down guards. I don't know why I forgot the word down. I forgot English for a second. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the Impel down guards, I like, at least in the anime, I like them way better when they were shadowed. As soon as I saw what they looked like, I was like,
yeah. Well, I mean, they're meant to be kind of a gag, though. You know what I'm saying?
I guess, yeah. But I was like, oh my god, like these are like, I would have rather them just been shadows the whole time. Like, that's what I was looking forward to. And then when I saw this cow, oh my god.
Fucking cow, dude.
Yeah, it was bad.
That is one top-heavy cow we saw in Impel Down.
Yeah.
Yeah, dog.
I'm looking forward to see how you guys react to that. And everything forward to it.
Dude, I'm so looking forward to Impel Down.
Dude,
Impel Down's going to be a jam.
I've said it before, and I think in the last Spoilercast, I'll say it again. Sabaody, up until like pre-time skip stuff, is my favorite stretch of One Piece. I am very excited for this journey we will be, entering really, really soon. I hope our other two co-hosts don't let me down with their shit takes or overly critical takes, because I will cry.
Right. I will be sad.
Also, this stretch of One Piece from Sabaody to Marineford and a little bit after have my favorite sets of OPs. Banger after banger after banger.
We are right now, right?
What do we have now?
We are at we're at the first one into Sabaody. I remember it's
I think it
has a weird
because I was watching Sabaody earlier and I started off with We Are.
Oh really? Oh okay. Yeah, well, it might be that then. A newer We Are version or whatever.
Yeah, the Paradise version.
Oh, I think we're on that right now, though. Actually,
that's what I'm saying.
I think the next one we're gonna get to is I think it's the one where it's there's a bit of a rap in there.
Yeah, I love when it in the OP it pans over all the supernovas.
Yeah, I think that's our next one.
I love that OP. It's so good.
Yeah, that was pretty sick. I like that one too.
Some good OPs, man. This is all one too. It's funny too when you start doing the rewatch. That's when you appreciate the OPs more.
Yes,
you're like, this OP. Yeah,
dog. Tell me about it.
When I started rewatching Zoe on the dub, that's a sick OP. Even though none of it makes sense. They're having a war with Kaido. I just love watching it. Especially now,
you're just that's some fun animation though.
Yeah, right. It's just the visuals. It's the person that you knew, your cousin that made AMVs on
there?
YouTube.
Is that We Can or something like that?
I think so. Yeah,
we
and then it had
you can, something like
my
that.
favorite part about that opening, it has the visuals of all the straw hats and the poneglyphs falling on them and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a sick shot too. I like that a lot. And then Robin's like, she's starry-eyed. She's like, my God, I'm seeing everything.
Robin's my favorite straw hat, like guaranteed.
I think you would not be alone in that camp.
Definitely
No,
not.
for sure. She's my favorite straw hat. Mostly the reason why she's the only one, like, she's very serious and mature, but she understands Luffy's brain and she fucks with it. And
Right.
I can't not love her for that. Like,
She is both the biggest bitch and most wholesome person on the crew.
I swear, she's real recognizes real, and Robin's real as fuck. Yeah.
All right, but we've been doing this for a
Yeah,
little
for
bit
sure.
now.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Remember
not
when
to start
Jordy
anymore,
said this would be
but-
a quick in and out hour tops? We were wrong.
Yeah. Either way, but before we close out, we normally do a grab bag, but unfortunately, we're not going to shuffle a bag around this time. Instead, we're just going to give you the floor, our friend
Oh.
Taco, and give us a recommendation.
Oh shit!
Taco
No.
Rex.
How are you guys gonna do this to me?
Yeah, baby.
There's gotta be something not
Oh,
One
shit.
Piece related you enjoy and would recommend to people.
I got. You know what's crazy? Like, it's funny too because I was like, it's gonna sound so stupid, but like while listening to your podcast, I'm like, they ever ask me for a recommendation, I know exactly what I got for them. And then you guys just did this to me, and now I'm put on the spot, and I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck? This is not like what? Like, yo, how'd you guys do this to me right now? All right, so
We're mind readers, dog. This is what we do.
All according to plan.
oh well, long con, eh? Oh my god. All right,
The long con.
so this is totally out of the park, and it's like the totally I would say this is the total opposite of One Piece, and this would be. Sorry, I just looked at the Discord, and that's hilarious. What was I saying again? Yeah, so totally the opposite of One Piece, and that is BoJack fucking Horseman.
Holy.
BoJack Horseman. What do you know?
I have not seen it. I've seen bits and pieces, mostly like memes that come around from the show.
I'm a huge fan of Will Arnett. I did see the first season of BoJack back in the day. I have not seen anything after that. Honestly, that's fantastic. You reminded me that show actually exists. I should pick that back up.
Dude, I'll 100% recommend this to you because, especially now that it's done, it is like beautifully written. It 100% like, oh man, dude, it is the opposite of One Piece, but it just fucking works, man. Like, I it's one of those one of those. So the first time I took mushrooms was.
All right, here we go. This is the real reason he recommends it.
Yeah, sorry. The very first time I took mushrooms, I wanted to every time I take mushrooms, I kind of watch something. That's like my go-to. Like that's like my thing. I like sitting in the room alone and watching something by myself before I took mushrooms. So when I did it on mushrooms, it was a lot more fun. Like I honestly, like, I know I've been saying taking mushrooms a lot in this episode, but I do want to clarify. Only take them if you want to, if you're ready for it, and if you're in a safe space. Like that's very important. So
There we go. Yeah, we definitely might want to put that little caveat in
yeah,
there.
for sure. Like I know, I just sorry, just all kicking in right now. I was like, I
Listeners,
know
know your limits.
Yeah, know your limits, know your thing, and only take if you want to. A lot of people have bad trips on mushrooms, and it's mostly due to the safe space. And my safe space is sitting in the room alone in the dark and watching movies, right? And
I feel
some of the movies I watched on my first time on mushrooms was Doctor Strange, which was pretty
Nice.
fun, but it didn't really feel like immersive, right? But then I started watching the first season of BoJack, and let me tell you, when you're on mushrooms and you're seeing a bunch of animals talk about real life shit, it really gets you thinking about stuff. And like BoJack does that well, and it's crazy because like it really okay. I want to say it's the opposite because it really hits the real life stuff. But it kind of, like honestly, like you might want to have a bottle with you sometimes, you know, like it gets real hit at home and it makes you really look at stuff but there's some of the like they're so creative in their episodes. Like I'll tell you right now, there's an episode like without spoilers, there's an episode where they don't use dialogue. Like the it's a cold opening where they use like a bit of like an opening line, and then it goes to the opening and there's no dialogue. and it's just beautiful. Like it's honestly a good story, and the writers really take creative freedoms, and they do a good job at what they're trying to do and the story they're telling, and there's a lot. I'll tell you something. Yeah, just watch it.
Well, fuck yeah. We appreciate the recommendation. That sounds delightful.
Yeah. Sorry, I just went on the whole rant there, but yeah, no.
Nah, you're good, dog. That's what we need. We need that kind of passion here. All right, we need to keep the listeners. The synapses need to be firing.
Yeah.
But all right. Thanks. We appreciate it. That's I think that's pretty much all that we got for the most part on this one.
Yeah,
Do you want to go ahead and plug yourself? Plug your cast one last time?
Oh yeah, for sure. We are on Meanwhile Back on the podcast, and I also have a YouTube channel called OCAT165. OCAT. It's taco backwards. And I have a Twitch. I might start doing that soon, which is OCAT with a K. But I know I sent you guys that UFC video too, right?
I did see that. That was funny.
That was funny. Yeah, no, we have some fun moments like that. Me and my buddy, we just fuck around, and we just talk about stuff like this all the time. And I kind of stream like every day, but I'm trying to take breaks, but it never happens because I game all the time and have all the free time. So yeah, no, for sure.
Well, hell yeah. Well, we appreciate you joining us, Taco, and
Appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah, Justin, do you want to do the thing, or do you want me to do the thing?
You know what? I'll do the thing. I'll do the thing.
You do the thing.
And hope I don't fuck it up. So yeah, social plug. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Panda Sightings. Feel free to send us emails at pandasightings@gmail.com. Maybe eventually we'll actually finish making that MySpace. Like I've seen the emails like asking us to finish our profile. Jordy, what's up with that, dude? Like, why are you blue balling me? Like, we keep telling the fans about this. Like, just finish it. Come on, man. Just finish it. But yeah, that's basically it. Feel free to hit us with your questions, comments, concerns. We love all the fan interaction. Like, who knows? Maybe there'll be another fan like Taco who ends up on the show. We'll see.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and we're super grateful to have a fan base in the first place. So thanks again, Taco, for joining us. And
no, for sure.
I think that's all we got.
Yeah, man. Life's crazy.
Did you say life's crazy?
Yeah, life is crazy. I would never think I'd have a podcast and I'd be talking to a fan who's just a
you
dude.
have a podcast.
You're right. Communism, our podcast.